person Jeremy, fellow Toastmasters, and oh, do we have a guest there? And guest.
Peter.
Right. This evening I'm going to talk about title A Month. Who here has heard of the children's book called Things That Go Bump in the Night? Great, thank you. Well, what I'm going to talk about are things that have gone bump in the month of July for me. I'm going to start off by telling you how I got to wear this green cast that's adorning my arm. And then I'm going to talk about the other series of bumps that have occurred following the getting of the cast. And then I shall finish off by giving my interpretation of why the universe chose to deliver such a month for me. Right? Now, for those of you who don't know, I met Raywin and Jill and our absent friend Zach 18 months ago, along with several others, when we all enrolled to do a course on life coaching. At the end of June, we finished our course off by having a live-in boot camp for the weekend out at Ramana. Now, I'd spent most of that week prior to that weekend at a tobacco control conference in Wellington. So when I arrived the Friday, I was feeling quite tired. However, I made a mistake of saying, well, after our 18 months together, it would be fair to say that most of us had been through some sort of personal metamorphosis. And of course, we were all ready to kick up our heels, let our hair down. But I made the mistake of saying to my friends, I'm not drinking this evening. It's like waving a red rag in front of a bull. Because twist my rubber arm, before I know it, one of the gang had lured me to the bar, and before I knew it... It wasn't me. And before I knew it, he was ordering shots and challenging me to shots. Now, shots, as we know, come in little tumblers. These were whiskey tumblers, and Sally was making the shots and we weren't quite sure, but I know the concoction was Kahlua, Drambuie, vodka, Southern Comfort, and not one to sort of turn down a challenge. So before I know it, too many shots, one has delusions of grandeur on the dance floor, bingo. And then, well, ACC very kindly allocated me 4 hours a week for the first 2 weeks, for 3 hours home help, 1 hour of helping with food preparation. I have a little self-contained flat outside of my house, and a very eccentric girlfriend rents that flat. And currently she's having financial challenges, so I offered her the ACC opportunity, which she took up. And I left a very clear list: vacuum, mop the floor, and clean the bathroom. That's all she had to do. I got home that night to find a note on my table saying, darling, you're going to have to find someone else. It took me 8 hours to do the work. It's way too hard. And I thought, 8 hours? She's just blown the budget. And I could have done that with one arm in 8 hours, you know. And so, but then that wasn't all. She couldn't even follow my list. She took it on herself to do my washing. And she threw into the washing machine my delicates, which included a very expensive beaded top, silk trousers, along with all the towels. And I discovered this when I opened the dryer to a cascade of beads. Oh. Yeah, it's very sad, that was. And then, okay, so if that wasn't enough, I noticed the next day that my dishwasher hadn't done its job. Hey, one arm doing the dishes by hand, how sorry was I starting to feel for myself, you know? And then almost as if choreographed, the July rains decided to come into my house through the roof. And this wasn't a drip, 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 drip. This was a mini waterfall. So, simultaneously at the same time, I had 2 non-English speaking language students at Tuna. One from Saudi Arabia, the other one from Russia. So here was I, this one armed conductor coordinating the roofer, the dishwasher technician, the insurance assessor. We all know that those blokes never keep to the time that they say they're going to keep, along with trying to do dishes by hand, along with trying to orientate my students into life. And I'll tell you what, as if that wasn't enough, the washing machine decided to give up and die, okay, on me. Followed by my broadband going down, which meant that it would have been 2 hours sitting on the phone. Eventually, after 3 days, I got that going. Then my cell phone died. Then my DVD player died. This is all true. This all happened in the month of July, okay? And then I thought, my luck is changing. Yay! I walked in to a owner-operated appliance shop to find that the person there had washing machines much cheaper than Bond and everywhere else. And he could deliver that afternoon. I thought, yay, things are looking up. So I thought. I got home one evening to find my front gate lying in the middle of my driveway. And then just to follow suit, the following weekend, my back gate thought it would get in on the act, but only managed to come off on one hinge. And then my eccentric friend in the flat told me the fridge had clapped out, and I thought, surely that has to be it. So I asked this builder friend of mine if he would please put up my new letterbox, and he said yes he would. So I came home that night to see my beautiful new letterbox, and I thought, oh, that looks so nice. Next day when I went to get my mail, he put it on back to front. So, I mean, I could do nothing but laugh. But you know, hey, I have my letterbox around the right way, my gates will get fixed, my roof will eventually get fixed, I have my dishwasher's been fixed, I have a new washing machine, I have a new DVD player, my cast comes off next week. So it would be an understatement to say I'm glad that July is behind me, roll on August. And you know, I believe the universe has sent me these challenges. Number one, just to remind me that normally I have 2 hands. There are many people in the world who only have 1 hand. Also, more haste, less speed. Slow down, matewiki. The job will still get done whether you've got 1 hand or 2 hands. And then, of course, I've had to focus on every task that I've had to do. I've had to focus. With 1 hand, you can't multi-skill. And you can't go on autopilot, especially if you're driving with 1 hand. You know, it's not such a good idea. And so, really, at the end of the day, I know that I'm much better off than those poor people in Torbay last week. Some of them have lost their homes. Other people who've suffered in the floods through July, and even more so around the world. So, for that, I am eternally grateful. Good evening, everyone.